I've been gone for about a month, but I'm here to talk about my writing again. This time we're going to talk about my journey with one specific story that started out as a flash fiction and how it turned or is turning into a short story. And I'm recording this video precisely for the reason my English sometimes fails me. You wouldn't be able to tell that I write in English. Because I want other authors or writers here on the community to watch it and tell me if you go through this as well, if you experience this, and if you do, please tell me in the comments and tell me everything about it. I want to know everything about this experience because it's kind of new to me and I don't know. I mean, it can't be wrong. It can't be that wrong, but I don't really know how to feel about this, and it feels like okay, but yeah, let me know what you think. I'm gonna tell you the whole thing about this, the story about the story. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Or if you've gone through this and if this is like normal process in writing, specifically writing short stories. I started this story because there was this freaking narrator that was invading my thoughts, like that fly is invading my phone right now. Jesus. There was this specific narrator that was invading my goddamn thoughts and kept telling me about this scene, this beautiful scene, the setting the image for this beautiful, beautiful scene. And I just wrote it. I wrote a couple paragraphs about it. It was about a page and it was setting the stage basically for a story. And I thought, okay, this is cool. I like this. It feels to me like this is good writing. Like I let it settle for a few weeks and then I read it again and I was like, okay, I like this. I like this. I feel good about this. Let's try to, finish the narrative because the setting of the scene in itself was, starting the narrative of a story. And I thought, okay, let's introduce conflict, resolve it, and finish it. And I did it. It was about 600 words. It would have been a flash fiction. So I submitted it in April to 5 different flash fiction places. One of them I had submitted to before and they rejected, but they rejected with feedback. This is like high tier rejection. I don't know if this is something that is a thing or is just because I'm not like too much in the community that I don't know what's going on, but high tier rejections, as I understand them, is when like a journal or a magazine rejects your story, but gives you a little comment or a little feedback or says they want to read more from you in the future, stuff like that. And this one had a comment, and the comment was, wait, I'm gonna read it. The setting is promising, but there perhaps needs to be more action. This feels a little plotless, which made sense to me because the whole thing of me writing the story started with me having this narrator narrating me the setting, setting the scene for the story. But I hadn't really figured out exactly what the story was about. I mean, I had, but it wasn't well written. So I got 4 rejections from those 5 submissions, and one of them was this one with feedback, and the other one never, and the other one is still pending, actually, to this day. So I submitted to 5 places, 4 rejected, and 1 sent this little comment. So with this little comment, I decided to rework the story. And one of the things I changed was from a first person narration to third person narration. I don't know why, but I prefer third person because if I can do third person, if like having the person's perspective doesn't really alter anything in the story, which in this case it didn't, I'd rather have third person. So I changed to third person and I changed the ending a little bit. I added what I felt like it was a better resolution to the little conflict that I had introduced. And it was a little bit bigger. It was about 800 words by this point. I submitted it to 3 more places. And I received 2 rejections. One was once again considered, I think, a higher tier rejection. And it went like this. Thank you for trusting us with title of the story. Although it was not selected for our upcoming issue, we'd appreciated this opportunity to read it. We'd love to read more from you. So this kind of told me that the writing is good. Like the writing is compelling and they enjoy reading it. But I think it was probably more than it's not suitable for them. I think it's that the story is not good enough. Like the writing is good, but the story isn't good enough. So I rewrote and I changed the main character from female to male because I think the one thing I was kind of, as a writer, afraid to admit was that this main character, because initially there was a power imbalance, because this main character was kind of introduced into a friend group that was already formed and strong. So she was kind of the newbie in the group, and there was a little bit of a power imbalance in that, and that was part of the conflict. But I changed it a little bit to make it that there was no power imbalance, that they were in a similar level of power in the story. It's hard to explain without giving you the context, but I don't want to say anything because I'm still working on it. But this like balance was only complete at the ending. Like the ending was much stronger because I think that's the thing with flash fiction and short stories, that it needs to be a little bit of a punch at the end. And I managed to do it at the end of the story to deliver a little bit of the punch, and the whole like fixing of the imbalance would be concluded by the very last word, literally. So I felt good about it. It was a little bit longer as well, and I decided to submit it to only one place because it's a place that I really like and I trust their opinion. And I got rejected, but it was once again a higher tier rejection. It wasn't just, so sorry, try somewhere else. It had a few more comments. Let me read it to you. We gave your work careful consideration. Though we are not accepting it for publication, we hope you find a better fit for it elsewhere. This is the standard rejection response. I had submitted one story to them before and received this standard rejection, but then they added something. They said, sometimes a narrative can be excellent work, but simply not be right for the journal. One common reason for this is that the text, though under 1,000 words, isn't a flash narrative. This might mean your story would work better as a longer story, part of a longer story, or even poetry. And this is where it kind of clicked, that maybe the little excerpt that I sent of about 800, 900 words was just setting the conflict and didn't actually resolve anything. Even though I thought it did, I don't think it did. Now I don't think it did. So what I'm doing now is trying a little like 3-act structure and trying it on a short story. I think it will work. I think it's kind of obvious now, like what I have to do to rise the tension of like the little conflict that I introduced in the first part of rise the tension. How I know exactly what the confrontation moment is, and I know exactly how to resolve it afterwards. And I mean, the only thing I've done so far is like set the structure, like write little bullet points for the structure, which isn't new to me. I never do this. I just write on and then fix it at the end. But I've set little bullet points for the structure, and I'm going to give it a few days and then just read the whole thing and continue writing until the end. I'm expecting about like 2,500 words, something like that. But I feel like I finally like found the core of what it is. And it took me a bunch of submissions and rejections. It took me like comments from 3 different places to figure out what was wrong with it and to fix it. And it feels like I have found a voice. That's what it feels like to me. Whenever I'm writing stories or working on a novel these days, my voice is starting to be very clear. Certain little like aspects of it, because when you're reading, when you read a writer for a long time, like you can tell like who they are, even if you don't see their name, you can tell by their writing who they are. Like people have specific styles, they have a very specific voice. And the thing I feel that I've been finding this year is that I feel it in every story. There are little elements to my narration, even though the narrators change, the style of the narration changes. There are little bits that are kind of always there. I don't know if that's what style is. I don't know if that's like how you identify a prose from a specific person, but I feel it there in my writing. And I feel like what these places that rejected with little notes might have seen is that, like, the novelty in the writing, the little bits that are original to me. And I hope that's what it is, because kind of the message that I've been feeling is that the writing is okay. It's decent enough. It's good. Okay. The writing is good, but then the story is not good enough. And that's what I'm going to be working on. But the feeling that I've been feeling weirdly about is the fact that I needed to have these rejections, to have certain comments to figure out my story. And I know maybe it's not that weird because a lot of people have mentors and I'm just doing this completely alone. And I can understand how this would like play out in a mentorship relationship. And I don't have that. So it kind of is playing out with these journals. But I just wanted someone else's perspective. If you are a writer, if you also go through this, let me know what you think. Let me know what your experience has been. And yeah, let's talk in the comments. Bye. Oh, and by the way, if any of you is interested in being like up to date with my shenanigans that I'm going through, I've actually started posting a lot more on my free tier on my Patreon. I don't know. I thought of creating like a blog to post, but then I have the feature of doing like written posts there. So why the trouble? Why go through the trouble? So I guess I'm just doing my little blog on my free tier on my Patreon. I mean, anyone can access it. So, yeah, I will see you here whenever I see you. Bye.